some mystical.
And Aaron Yahalom.
Aaron Yahalom. Yeah, yes, that's right. So today, hello guys, hello boys and girls. Today we are with Sebastian Rodriguez-Larrain, wonderful artist and photographer from Peru, Lima, Peru, and he was explaining us how the decentralization and beautiful artistic approach towards, let's say, mass adoption could save endangered people, could, let's say, protect very important local cultures, and that would be a beautiful showcase how you could use our decentralization and the vehicles we managed to create. I mean, we as a crypto community to build the better future for ourselves, protecting what's available for us in that decentralized, independent manner. So, welcome, Sebastian, to Elmas YouTube channel.
I'm very honored to be here with you, Aaron. I've been admiring your work from a distance for some time, and it's a little surreal now to be speaking to you after. You know, I in a way maybe I manifested this meeting a long time ago, and I'm like, I need to somehow be connected to Elmas, and here we are. So thank you it's great to meet you, and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. Could you tell us more about your background? Because you have a wonderful story. You come from a very talented family. By the way, for our viewers, the artworks behind Sebastian back, it's artwork of his father. So that's amazing, absolutely breathtaking pictures. It's just a story of his life, story of the family he has grown. Tell us more about your projects and what's going on right now with your project, right?
Sure, thank you. Well, yeah, my name is Sebastian Rodriguez-Larrain. I'm a Peruvian American. I was born in Lima, but I grew up in New York City. I come from a family of artists, like Aaron said. My mother is also a very talented artist, also an art educator with 2 master's degrees from Teachers College, Columbia University. And my father, and she's alive and well. And my father, who had me at 60, I didn't even tell you that part of my father actually had me at 60 years. My father was born 1928. He passed away around 6 years ago now. He's considered the most important artist of his generation here in Peru, and had an amazing life. I need to eventually write a book. I mean, from everything from Che Guevara coming to Peru, you know, in the 1940s and staying with him, to, you know, fishing the big black marlins with Ernest Hemingway in the north, to driving to the Hamptons with Jackson Pollock, each of them with a bottle of Jack Daniels. Every story that starts about my dad, it's like, okay, then there was liquor, then, you know, that's sort of like the my dad was, you know, best friends with Marcel Duchamp and Man Ray. He grew up in post-war. He developed his career in post-war Europe, moving to Europe in 1952 for the first time, and then marrying a French woman in 1956. And anyway, so a way to actually transition a little bit my background to what I'm doing now is actually my father, because he did leave me this very important legacy. But the most important part, in my opinion, of his legacy was an idea that he developed in the 1980s. Comes from a tradition, but it was that art should not only be aesthetic, but also ethical and utilitarian. And so back then, he was working with UNESCO to develop these, what he called Refugio de los Andes. They were going to serve as these structures, right? Like, you know, architectural structures that were going to serve 3 purposes. 1, to be an agricultural research center, medical post, and a school. And so essentially, this idea, this model, actually came from the United States in the 30s during the Good Neighbor policy. And then it was later developed by UNESCO, but the idea was to go to rural Peru and develop those 3 infrastructures to try to alleviate poverty, and there was a lot of actually self-interest from the government. It wasn't all, you know, philanthropic. They were actually stealing a lot of medicines and natural resources and all that. But the idea was very noble and very good. And that's actually what inspired me to try to adapt that idea to create an eco-village model based on that. But attached to that, I was thinking of putting an artist residency, and like the same as actually Elmas, I swear, land, a Buckminster Fuller inspired geodesic dome.
Wow.
Not only because of the beauty of it, right, but because it's actually kind of affordable to build as well. So yeah, that was, my dad inspired me there. And so then, right, so the idea, I'm a photographer. I studied philosophy and French at university, but my passion was always photography. And but growing up or developing as a photographer, you know, in my 20s, I always felt uneasy producing photography just for aesthetic reasons. This idea that art should also have some type of impact always stayed with me. And that's actually what eventually led me to blockchain technology and to NFTs. And I realized that through NFTs, you could actually program utility into the artwork, the digital artwork, and then use the funds generated from the sale of the NFT to finance some type of ethical project.
Yes, I like that idea, you know, because even with what's going on right now in Ukraine and war in Ukraine, with all NFT projects supporting, let's say, a lot of movements and helping refugees, etc., I do realize the importance of that NFTs as a, let's say, part of the story, because the NFT something beautiful. You could explain to your grandchildren later, maybe 50 years after, what you have done. And sometimes in your life, you are telling the stories, and you're telling, you know, showing maybe photos of your father together with Che Guevara, maybe something without just their catch, etc. But maybe during our, let's say, during when you will be 80 years old or 70 years old, you will show your wallet, you will show your crypto wallet, you will show the story of your achievements, the story of your life through that very beautiful, let's say, elements like NFT. So let's jump in your latest project. Let's discuss how you will trying to achieve, let's say, I mean, future for some very important elements of your local culture. Describe how you act.
So the idea, so that was the idea, you know, that was the background. And then an anthropologist contacted me and told me that there's a very interesting part of Peru called Huancavelica. It's actually one of the poorest regions of Peru, yet richest in concentration of centenarians. Centenarians live 100 years and more. But the basic idea that at least the Max Planck Institute, I think around 10 years ago, came up with a study and essentially was arguing that centenarians primarily live in first world countries. You need first world conditions for that. So the anthropologist was struck by this, you know, sort of contrast. Why are there centenarians living in the worst conditions? And so that sort of led us to go there, and that's what my first project is now about. It's called Los Centenarios de Peru.
Sorry, just a quick question. What's the pH level of the water in that country, in that side of the country?
Well, now
pH level of the water.
Well, now I don't know the exact level. I know now. So this is what I'll tell you the interesting part of the story. But before, right now, 30% of the water is contaminated with heavy metals. So you can think it's very acidic and terrible. Right. But before, that's actually one of the things that so we didn't do a scientific study. This is more, you know, word of mouth. But we went and we interviewed 10 centenarians to try to asking them, why do you think you've lived so long? And they all essentially gave the same answers, right? So one was the water, right? They would drink fresh spring water. Two would be clean air, right? And then the mountain air as well with the sunlight. Exercise, but normal exercise. I'm not going to the gym, lifting weights. No, you know, standing up, going down, going up a mountain, going down. Normal movement, but constant movement. Food, right? What today we spend a fortune on, farm to table, or, like in Spanish, it's called de la chacra a la olla. It's basically from the farm to your pot, right? And essentially
If
that.
if you're part of crypto community, you have enough money for that type of lavish lifestyle. Because I'm fortunate to have that opportunity, sitting here in Tulum, Mexico, and actually getting all of the food from the local farmers. It's unique opportunity. I'm let's say using as much as I can. And regarding those studies, actually I'm not trusting in air quality. We have a lot of places on Earth with wonderful air conditions and still having a lot of cancer, etc. I think it's mostly water. And what about the floral background? What kind of herbs unique for that region? Maybe it also some floral, let's say, components of all of that.
Oh no, 100%. No, 100%. And I mean, they would also consume a lot of coca leaves, and coca leaves are one of the richest plants in terms of minerals out there. It has the most amount of magnesium and potassium, I think, out of any plant in the world. And so that's just part of their culture, would be to consume, daily chachando.
I'm also not trusting in that completely. I will explain why. You could not, first of all, you could not substitute the natural magnesium coming from the natural sources. So definitely, it's not just magnesium. It's something inside those leaves. All of the elements connected, working together in wonderful, wonderful composition. And also, it's very interesting because of the water, and because of the local climate. I mean, very local climate. Some herbs could contain different type of chemicals, different type of vitamins. I have explored all of that, like with thyme. I like thyme. Do you know thyme? Like it's a herb for thyme.
Oh, thyme.
Yes. For example, I like thyme. First of all, I was introduced to mountain thyme in Armenia at least 9 months ago. Their local culture. I mean, Armenia, they are drinking a lot of tea with thyme. They actually drinking thyme as a tea. It's absolutely beautiful composition of tastes. You could add a little bit of honey. Just try it. It's like very manty, like it's not like a Jack Daniels type of drink, but it's a drink of strong man. And
put hair on your chest
by all means. Afterwards, and that's the story. And I will actually try to research the chemical composition of the thyme, and different type of thymes, in different regions have different effects, different type of effects on your body. And what's most interesting, it depends when you collect those thyme. So completely different scenarios when you can collect, you gather the thyme during the autumn, or you gather the thyme during the winter, whatever. But they don't have actual winters, but etc. So you could get different type of biocomposition inside exactly the same.
That's fascinating.
Yes,
totally.
So I'm still trying to understand what's unique, because other people also eating those coca leaves.
That's I don't actually have the answer, right? So the last component is family bonds, right? So that was back over 100 years ago. The family was together. So one of the main issues, just as a parenthesis now, one of the main issues facing Peru is extreme poverty. And what happens? That actually causes a terrible situation where locals need to leave to go to Lima or Chimbote, to the big cities, in search of economic opportunities, and that destroys the family. So now today, by contrast to the centenarians, and this is really the story that I'm going to tell, and I'm going to open it up also for anyone who wants to go and study in a more scientific, rigor this. But what you see now is, unlike the centenarians, they're direct descendants, genetically alike. Their great grandchildren now have stomach cancer, ulcers, they have, chronic malnutrition. So the story here is that something has changed over the course of the 20th century, right? Lots of these centenarians lived to 120. So let's say they were born 1900. So from 1900 to today, something has happened to Huancavelica to cause the health of its population to go down drastically. So children today will most likely not be centenarians in 80, 90, 100 years, right? So that is what's most alarming. So yes, there's part of the story is yes, to try to learn the secrets of longevity from the centenarians. But then actually what I really want to raise this money for is for the next generation as well, is to try to help the children. Because it's 60% of Peru when I was born, children had chronic malnutrition. Okay, like if I could die with that number being 0%, I'll be a happy man, right? That's really that's and so this story of Huancavelica, it has so many important elements that have caused me to choose it as the first subject matter of my utility NFT projects.
Got it. Okay, so let's move forward and let's try to explain to let's have our viewers what's possible right now with in terms of let's say decentralized societies and network states. How we, from your perspective, I mean, Elmas land, let's say nation, or let's say any other human being on Earth, like inside all of the decentralization movement, how they could, let's say, change something around them, because we do realize a lot of ugly things happening and a lot of ugly things going on, and I'm not sure how it feels like depopulation trend, and I'm not sure how to put it correctly, but it feels like a lot of effort have done by some invisible actors to depopulate that beautiful world. What could we do, let's say, as a decentralized society? Because you have unique visual storytelling model. You have a unique approach. Could you help us? And could you explain us?
So look, I think the first thing. So we can look at extreme poverty like a house on fire. Right? There's certain actions that need to be taken immediately. It's not so long term. So step one, if people want to help, it could be providing UBI. So the sale of these NFTs, I'm donating 60%. 30% goes to Impact Market, which is a poverty alleviation protocol on Celo, the blockchain Celo. And then 30% I'm donating to Regenera Peru, my nonprofit that deals with regenerating rural Peru. So that's one way you can help. It's just if you buy the NFT, you know that you're actually helping to finance the life of a centenarian. And so the idea is for one NFT to equal 1 year of life. But that's only part one. Right now, this is the photographs that I've sent you.
How much, by the way, how much does it cost in US dollars? Just to understand.
Yeah. So right now we're doing an auction, so we're not at that price yet. But 1 year of life for if I donate 60% would be $3,600.
Okay, wonderful.
But with $3,600, you actually get a bundle. What I'm trying to do with these decentralized, services is also inspired by blockchain, incentivize the buyers. Because I really, as a thank you to the buyers willing to spend so much money, I want to give them more back in return. So I've partnered with different protocols and partners in Celo who all are willing to give tokens also for the purchaser. So you actually receive in tokens if you spend 3,600 more than you've spent in USD. Beyond that, I'm also going to give you a print, a one-of-one print. So if you believe in me as a photographer as well, and you think in the future I might become well known, just that photograph will also be worth more than $3,000 in the future, right? And beyond that, the top 5 bidders, because this is going to be this is an auction, the top 5 bidders will receive free air flights back and forth from anywhere in the world to Peru, because I'm partnering with Fly Wallet. Fly Wallet is a decentralized, they're like a Expedia Yeah.
By the way, we have, let's say, our intellectual property fund, and we have our own technologies that could prolong life to maybe at 20 or 30 years to your active life. We have already tested with couple Olympic labs, Olympic training facilities. They will significantly improve the state of the body, helping also with recovery. And it feels like we need to invent and we need to create something for your project, because I like the concept. The people who, let's say, some sort of supporting other people long life should have some access and should have that ability to also get that.
Well, that's actually the idea. So step one is this, poverty is sort of this putting water on the fire. That's step one. But step two, actually, and also building a community and partners. Maybe we could partner. I'm finding people who all resonate with this. But step two is actually to go and search for land. So I'm traveling all over Huancavelica making these interviews. So I've done 10, but there's 88 other centenarians. So I need to go do more. And then those are going to be the subject of the main collection. This is a pre-collection, right? So this is a pre-launch, what I sent you. There's going to be a main collection which launches in Q4 of this year. And so the idea with that is actually the way I'm also going to incentivize buyers is by giving them timeshares in an eco village. So the idea, and maybe this is something that we can explore, it could be very interesting. We focus this eco village can focus on longevity research, right? For example, and we also create, these Buckminster Fuller inspired geodesic domes.
Yes, actually, we have, let's say, some sort of jacuzzi, but it's not jacuzzi. It's we have all of our technologies inside of. Basically, when we sell those GeoHouse, we're actually giving all of that life prolonging devices to, let's say, our people. But still, we could, let's say, we have spa center. We will have that spa center during the next spring, and we actually could add, let's say, 10 visits of like course, life prolonging course for the buyers of your NFT. And that
would be beautiful.
It will significantly improve the state of their body. It could actually, let's say, at least they will look younger, like 5 years younger, or a couple years younger, just after that procedures. So
I think I'm just going to buy 10 of my own NFTs then, and then I'll look 50 years younger after I'll do 10 treatments immediately. No, no, but beautiful. That's such a nice idea and very generous. Thank you. Yeah, I would love to talk about that. Yeah.
I just like to connect in a manner that resonate. I mean, if the people, let's say, actually supporting and, let's say, honoring and helping to the people who's living very long life, at least they deserve to have something back. I mean, they deserve to share that, let's say, ability to live longer. And I just like that type
and this idea as well, that that I let's not forget, these centenarians who are living in extreme poverty aren't the only ones that need help. We need help. Many people, right? So with this project, what I'm trying to also do is create life-enhancing, consciousness-expanding, mind-altering, body fortification experiences for the buyer, to incentivize them and say thank you, but to give them something that's worth more than money, right? It's priceless. Right. So yes, I'm also because I've been studying charity, right? For charity, there shouldn't be an economic component to it, right? So I was wondering, does it make sense for me to be incentivizing people to be charitable? I was like wondering, it's a question I haven't answered yet, but still, but beyond incentivizing with financial means, whether it's with tokens or with, flights to Peru or with my photograph, I want to give experiences. So with each NFT, I'm trying to give a bundle of products and services to the NFT buyer, right? And so the NFT buyer is also going to benefit in non-financial ways, just as the centenarian or his community will also benefit. The idea is for everyone to benefit, to create win-win-win scenarios, right?
I will definitely think about it, how to incorporate, let's say, that our spa center visits inside your bundle. Maybe if you're willing to create that NFTs transferable, we could, let's say, give maybe 5 visits per year or something like that, because you need some value inside that transferable value, because someday maybe some of the buyers will actually resell those NFTs, and some fraction of that cost, some fraction of that money will go, according to the smart contract, will go back to your community, and some will go back to them. But the new buyer also needs some reason, some beautiful elements inside that NFT. Give me couple, let's say, couple weeks, maybe late, maybe I will get back to you with exact idea how we're willing to incorporate life prolonging technology inside that bundle to help you, because it's just beautiful. And as I already mentioned, that's the way you could you could communicate and change the society with all of our decentralized initiatives, because artists have their own artistic language, and I like your artistic language. You like your actions very artistic by its nature, and it's something different. It's not like a logic. It's based on emotions. It's based on, let's say, feelings, and that's what we need, because we have different languages, we have different mindsets, we have a lot of strange things going on in our heads and in our lives, but still emotions, that artistic language, beyond all of that, it's kind of like a God's language for the full world. The ability to communicate through that visual, emotional, let's say, stream of let's say changes. From my perspective, is
I really appreciate that, because I'm telling you that I have gone through my existential crises, because I'm a big proponent and admirer of the technological innovations we see today, whether it's blockchain or genomics, 3D printing, artificial intelligence. But then I wonder, me as an artist, where do I fit within that society, right? I'm not an engineer, I'm not a scientist. What value can I give to the world, really? And then, I've been thinking, yes, I mean, that technology can be used for good or for bad. We can either live in a utopia and enter a golden age now, or enter, the world that we were speaking about at the beginning, even worse, right? And that all depends on consciousness. And I think artists do need to play a role in trying to, expand our awareness, so that we no longer are disconnected from ourselves and from the world, but see the unity of nature as one all-inclusive whole. And that way we're going to really be able to use the technological innovations in ways that will help protect and promote life instead of destroy it.
I'm willing to add something more, maybe for your future investors, and maybe, let's say, to support that type of language. I mean, that type of, let's say, product PR communication as you have. Let's say I'm a fan of Dan Kennedy. Dan Kennedy, one of the biggest marketers in the United States. I mean, small business marketing, small and medium-sized business marketing, and he was one of the biggest advocates of snail mail, because if everybody sending you electronic emails, etc., a lot of banners, you forget about that channel, which is actually cheaper than you could imagine. And if you send somebody, actually, it's part of very expensive life course, cost me like $50,000. If you send, yes, I'm not kidding, it's worth it. A lot of millionaires come from that course later, and I know. So the key idea of that course is you could send like snail mail, just a regular mail, maybe very artistic, like somebody I will give you just one very beautiful example. For example, the Cessna, those aircraft production company, they sent to the biggest CEO birds. They sending a letter with birds inside the cage. Could you imagine if somebody will send you a letter, because we're getting tons of advertising, all the emails, etc., and you as a CEO getting a bird. And it was very successful. It was very successful, and still that channel, snail mail, that type of advertising working way better and from cost effectiveness and impact than let's say just emails, or let's say Facebook ads, or whatever ads we have. So but why I'm telling all of that? I'm telling that your unique language in our, let's say, crypto community, your ability, let's say, to create new type of and frame that, let's say, your story in that very artistic manner will be like a bird, like that snail mail part of that unique message that will get to the right audience. Just because it's uncommon. We not experience all of that. We have thousands of messages floating around us with the same, more or less, the same storytelling, the same. But right now you are adding something new to our decentralized community, and it feels like you will get a lot of traction with your product. And I hope your investors will understand that uniqueness. It's like it's a magic. It's actually magic that could, let's say, drive a lot of people to what you are doing. And we are ready and willing to support your let's say an NFT project. It's a great honor to be part of that project.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm really. I wasn't expecting all this love and support, so I'm beyond grateful. Thank you.
Thank you for our wonderful conversation. Thank you for that wonderful meeting. I hope you will join our Elmas Land chat, Telegram chat group. And if somebody is willing to, let's say, win our AMA session, they could send their questions, interesting questions, to Sebastian, to our Telegram group, and he will answer. And so I'm willing you to communicate with Sebastian, asking about, let's say, some details about his country, maybe his works, maybe the works of his father, because I'm still waiting for, let's say, that book, or maybe Amazon link to buy that book, because what's going on behind your back is also part of the story, and it's like a miracle. It's that level of artistic.
Well, yeah, maybe to just finish this, just to give my ultimate vision, let's say this might take 10, 20, 30 years, who knows, but I want to create like 13 regenerative villages all across the Japacnian, El Camino Inca. It's the Royal Incan Highway. It's 5,000 kilometers of infrastructure that the Incas did. It's a World Heritage Site now. And so I want to find strategic locations all across there to build these. So one of them will be, the longevity, and each one has a different purpose, right? So we have in Huancavelica maybe the longevity research center. And actually, so my dad was the first artist to produce land art in Latin America. And he left behind a project that was never built. So part of, my, I feel responsibility as an heir is to bring to fruition, materialize that project. And so in each land that, or each regen village, I want to build also one of his works of land art. So yeah, just wanted to add that.
Okay, I will try to help you with the technologies, with the Elmas Land technologies for your eco-village, because we do a lot of research. We have our own R&D facilities, and we are mostly not just offline, we are online community. So we are actually willing to, let's say, give all the technologies to most of our, let's say, crypto community, and that's why I'm willing to collaborate building those future projects in Peru. as the Elmas
Thank
land.
you.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you for being with
You're
us.
welcome.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Aaron.